So if you don't ask, the answer is going to be no 100% of the time. I'm Coach Bobby Brown with Sober Life Right. What I do is I help people live their most amazing lives free from drugs and alcohol. I do that through one-on-one coaching, hopefully through these videos, and just any way that I can. I am a man in long-term recovery. What that means for me is that today I get to live this amazing life free from drugs and alcohol. And part of that, what makes it so amazing is I get to help others. I'm going through the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. This is, today is principle number 17 actually. Principle number 17, the title is Ask, Ask, Ask. I highly recommend this book. This is a top 5 book for me. I've got my worn copy in my hand. That's about the 3rd copy of the book that I've owned. I've given this book to a dozen people. It's an absolute encyclopedia of habits and principles that successful people follow. Absolutely love this book. It is a game changer if you will read it. I am an Amazon affiliate. I do have I'll put a link in the description for you to be able to go to Amazon and purchase this book. I would love for you to support me. I will get a small commission if you do it, but regardless whether you get it from me or not, just check this book out. All right, if you want to see more success in any area of your life, this book lays out just some amazing knowledge, and it's chock full of just really, really good information. So let's just jump right into it. Talks about a couple of things. This is a pretty short chapter. It's 4 or 5 pages, but it touches on like just so much good information right off the bat. First thing it talks about is like some of the fears that keep us for asking for things. I'll admit, like, this is probably, out of all the success principles, like, this is the one that I have to be intentional with, practice with the most. You know, being in recovery, I've learned through different things I've done to like build this foundation, my recovery, to like really look at my past. And for whatever reason, like, I have had this thought in my mind for a long time, like, I'm just supposed to know the answers to things. I am supposed to be able to do things on my own. I'm supposed to be able to solve any problem. Like, these ridiculous beliefs, like I'm supposed to know how to do things that I have never done before. And the problem is that, like, that kept me sick for such a long period of time that was unnecessary. I've worked for the last 1.5 years as a recovery coach for a nonprofit, and there I've coached probably over 1,000 men and women in some form or another. Some of it just very one-touch things where it's just quick impact coaching. Others that I've followed through for 6 months or longer, where it's more intensive and we're meeting on a weekly basis. But over that period of time, like, seeing, like, there's a system to recover from drugs and alcohol. There's a lot of systems, actually. I call them pathways to recovery. There's a ton of pathways. Some of the ones that I work 2 12-step programs. I do some faith-based stuff. I do some peer support. I try to be pretty well-rounded. I've tried a lot of other things that in some way or another kind of support that recovery. But there are best practices that work. There are ways to figure out severities of substance use disorders. There are different levels of care that you can go through that, starting with some very, very light to some very, very intensive programs to address substance use disorders. But the idea, like, the idea, maybe I'll just step back to like when I first started thinking about maybe there was a problem and when I consider my recovery started. I'm 50 years old now. My 40th birthday, had my partner at the time threw this amazing surprise party at a Mexican restaurant. We went, like all my family and friends, were probably like 50 to 75 people there. Like these are all my close family members and friends to celebrate my big 40th birthday party. And we starts with a birthday shot. And one shot led to another. At some point in the night, I blacked out. I remember waking up the next morning. We had already planned, my friends had already, pre-gamed the plan to go to this place called Hydration Station. We were gonna get an IV so we'd get rehydrated so the hangover wouldn't be so bad, and oxygen and all this stuff. And I remember my alarm going off, and I remember feeling like my head was just going to explode. I remember the look on my best friend's face when he opened the door to his house when I got over there, and like, I guess it was very, very visible how bad I felt. And I remember hearing the stories about the night before and falling over tables, and we were supposed to go out to dance, and yeah, I think sitting beside a car, just like arguing or not wanting to go in or not physically able to walk to go in, like just this really, and we're all kind of laughing. And, we partied like this. So it's not like this was this like weird, uncommon story, or like the people that I'm talking with hadn't had their own version, their own side of it. But something about that time struck a nerve with me. And maybe for the first time, I felt really embarrassed. I felt really embarrassed about the idea that here was all these people that loved me. I couldn't remember the night. My kids were there. And while nobody else really made a big deal out of it, I made a decision that day for the first time in my life that maybe I should do something about my drinking. Maybe I should stop, or at least slow down. And so that's the decision I made, but I didn't talk about it. Not really. I think it may have come up later when we went out, the first couple of times we went out drinking. I was like, I'm good. I think I might take a break for now. But I certainly didn't ask for help. I certainly didn't think I needed help. I thought that, okay, well, we'll just flip a switch, and now I'm a non-drinker, and life will be good. What ended up following was, like, over the last decade, some periods where drinking maybe didn't get worse, but drinking turned to drugs. And instead of my life getting better, my life got much, much worse. And I didn't know that I should or that I could ask for help. I didn't know that that some people can't just stop. I didn't know that a lot of the behaviors that and a lot of the things that were happening to me were very common among certain people. And that because of that there was a common solution. There were several common solutions that might have worked for me much, much earlier. And so I just kept going and trying to do it myself. And it was like, this was such a hard way. I went from being that person celebrating with all this family and friends, a business owner, member of my community, someone in a solid, stable relationship, to, the last time I drank or used drugs was July 22nd, 2021. The day before that, I was homeless. I've been thinking about suicide. I was 40 pounds underweight. I hadn't talked to family in I don't know how long. I had no friends in my life. I was not connected. I wasn't feeling the connection of God, although I believe He was always with me. Lost everything I had materially. Like, I was bankrupt in every sense of the word. And it wasn't, that's with like some real 7 years before that of like learning stuff about recovery. So powerful chapter for me, like being able to ask for what you need, ask for what you want. So I think that's a perfect segue into one of my purposes for doing. My main purpose for doing these videos is to hopefully help somebody. I believe that I've been given an absolute gift to be able to live this amazing life free from drugs and alcohol. It's not something I deserved. And I feel an obligation to do something with that and help as many people as I can. So I hope these videos like one day just take off. And, I've got a goal for a video with 1 million views, man. I would just love for this to make a difference in people's lives. They hear me and they get some hope, and it makes them want to make a change or makes their life a little bit better in some sort of way. But I'm also using it because I want to promote this stream of mine, this business. And one of the ways I want this business to grow is through one-on-one coaching. So if you are someone that's sober or thinking about getting sober, and you look at your life and it's not absolutely amazing, and you're not sure what to do, and you'd like some help, and you're willing to put in the work, you're just not sure what work to put in, then I'm going to ask that you just ask in the comments. Put that in the comments, and I'll reach out to you and let's talk. I love working one-on-one with individuals and helping them achieve success and like watching their life turn around. And if that's something that you're looking for, then maybe I can help. If you're not at that point yet, I will ask selfishly, but you do like what I had to say, you like this message, you'd like to see more, please ring the bell, hit the subscribe button. Please share these videos with somebody that might need to hear this message. And keep watching. Like I said, there's 63 success principles. We're on principle number 17 right now. So I'm going to cover a lot of stuff in these videos. And check out the videos. This is your first video. Check out the other success principles. They are all very, very powerful. So I hope you have an amazing day.